Today, we're taking a look at the Xvive Echoman analog delay. Welcome back to another episode of Addicted to Gear. My name is Tony. Thank you for joining me. What you heard at the top of that video section was me playing through this Xvive Echoman analog delay pedal. I was playing the pedal with the lead portion of that little sample as well as the backing rhythm track that you heard there. So I just wanted to give you a rough idea of what this pedal sounds like and what it can do. Now, I have quite a few digital delay pedals already, and I didn't want yet another digital delay pedal that basically does the same old thing. And I was actually pretty surprised by the way the Xvive pedal works, because it does some things a little bit differently. And I wanted to explain that to you guys. Let's talk about the pedal itself. It's a very compact analog delay pedal. It says right on the front of the pedal that the max delay time is 600 milliseconds. So it doesn't have a lot of delay, and it's supposed to be analog. The thing with this pedal that I like a lot is the way that it works, because first of all, you have four knobs on the front of the unit. You have the regular time, you have modulation, you have a blend knob, and you have a feedback knob. So the blend knob allows you to blend the dry signal with the delay modulation sounds. The modulation, of course, allows you to select how much modulation you want to have in the effect. Feedback, of course, everyone knows what that does. It just gives you more of a longer delay sound, and the time is basically the spaces in between the delay. Now, the pedal has another interesting feature, and it's a little switch right in the center of it, and you can switch here between chorus and vibrato, and the light on the unit will switch color when you press that in or out. So you have the ability to have a delay sound mixed with either a chorus or a vibrato modulation effect, which is quite interesting. But the other thing that I found interesting about this pedal, and I wasn't expecting because it's not in any of its literature, is the fact that it is kind of a dynamic delay. And what I mean by that is when you strum your guitar, depending on how hard you strum it or how softly you strum it, the delay effect changes. The dynamics of the delay effects change. If you're strumming your strings or hitting your strings harder, actually the delay effect is negated. It's actually less. And if you strum softer or more softly, then you hear the delay effect more, which is kind of almost like a studio delay that some companies use, where the delay effect actually changes and is not always at the same volume. And I find that quite cool to use because it actually gives you more texture, more feeling, and just, you know, the modulation is nice, but having the dynamics play up and down like that makes the pedal quite nice. It has a warm sound to it, but it could get a little unruly if you bring the feedback knob too high up and the modulation as well. So you want to keep things under control with this pedal. Now, I've had this pedal on my board and I've played it live in a couple of situations, and I really like the way it integrates with my distortion and overdrive pedals and EQ pedals and whatnot, because it blends pretty well and it's not an overpowering type of delay that I like to use. I actually dial in the time and the feedback and the effects to more towards the minimum side of things, because I don't necessarily need big, long delay effects. I usually like the slap back or echo effects that I can get by dialing in the pedal more subtly. Now the pedal is well made, constructed very nicely. I'll open it up and give you some gut shots as well so you can see what it looks like on the inside. The knobs are made of metal and they do have a nice little grip to them, but I think the shafts on these are still plastic, but I do like the small footprint of this pedal because it is compact. I can put it on a smaller board and it doesn't take too much room, which I really like. The switch itself is also very nice. It has a good snappy feel to it. It seems to be solidly built, and since the pedal doesn't take much room, you could put it in your gig bag or even in your case and bring it with you. It doesn't take a lot of extra space or anything like that. All right, we're going to start off with some clean sounds. So pretty dry, clean sounds. Now we'll turn on the unit. Everything pretty much about noon. So if I let the cord ring out, you can hear there's a little bit of like vibrato towards the end. Now if I put up the feedback to almost all the way, so you can hear how it starts to oscillate. And for the modulation, so if we turn the modulation down, and if we turn the modulation way up, get something like this. So you definitely hear more modulation if I just strum a chord. Now, as far as the time goes, I'm going to put it all the way up, and I'm just going to hit a note. And you can definitely hear the waver in the note. Now, if I take the modulation down, and I do the same thing, you hear less waver, and I take the modulation off completely. So there's always a little bit of modulation. Never completely clean. And if I put it all the way up, now if I pick softly, you hear that there's definitely a waver in the sound. Now I'll put the repeats way low, the time way low. So there's definitely like a little bit of like wavering there. And if we take the blend and bring it down, and I take the time and put it by up again. Now you can hear the tail. There's kind of like a little creepy overtone at the end of it, is how I can describe it. Now if I turn down the modulation completely, so that creepy overtone goes away, but there still is some. there is still some like degradation in the sound, you know? You can hear it. It's not pristine. So if you're looking for a super clean delay, this is not it. But if you're looking for something that will give you some interesting overtones, this could be a cool tool. Now let's turn on the chorus vibrato and let's see what that gives. So now if I just strum a chord, I'll strum a chord. So you can definitely hear it going up and down. If I bring up the modulation, and if I bring down the modulation, it's more manageable. Let's bring the time up a little bit. Let's bring it, give it a little bit more time. So you definitely can hear the difference. And I'll bring up the feedback. Definitely starts to oscillate there. When you turn up the blend, it definitely gives you more of a delay when you pick the note. It doesn't give you that immediate attack. I don't like that because it throws off my timing, so I'll bring it down. So now if I do a soft strum, hard strum, bring up the blend a little bit. Let's bring up the feedback. Bring up the modulation. So you definitely hear it there. I'll bring it. So there you go, guys. That was a little look at the Echoman analog delay pedal from Xvive. A great, versatile delay pedal that does things a little bit different than the norm. Definitely offers some nice analog sounds, great modulation, chorus, vibrato. It's all in this little pedal right here. So if you're looking at something that is not too expensive, but definitely sounds warm and fills up the sound, this could be the little pedal that you need. So I'll put the link to the information on this pedal below in the comments section. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions on this pedal or anything that I mentioned in this video. I'm always willing to answer your questions. I always appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, shame on you guys. I'm disappointed. Do it right now, please, because there's going to be more great videos on pedals, guitar, amps, and gear coming right here on Addicted to Gear. In the meantime, guys, stay tuned and keep rocking. There'll be more great videos coming your way. See you soon.